here at Black Hat USA 2025. Terry Sweeney here, contributing editor to Dark Reading, and joining us now on the stage is Elvia Finalle, Senior Analyst, Security Operations with Omdia Cybersecurity. Elvia, thanks so much for joining us on the news desk today.
No, thank you so much for inviting me.
We are talking about security budgets, which is always a hot topic, it seems like. Give us a snapshot of what's happening with budgets in SecOps in 2025.
Yeah, so we had a very interesting piece of research. We conducted a very interesting survey on how CISOs are handling the budgeting issues. And we found out that around 36% of our respondents said that they are thinking about increasing their budgets by 15%. So that's quite a bit of a chunk. And when we asked the same question, but the other way around, of if you're looking into decreasing it, they said, I think around 6 to 7%, they were not sure there's going to be any cuts to the budget. So that's a great.
What do you make of that?
Well, it is very interesting because we have always the IT departments and the security departments competing for the same type of budget. So this tells me that they are finally seeing the importance of investing in security and being proactive with the utilization of their resources. Shareholders are finally seeing that it's better to invest heavily in their security rather than having to pay ransomware later on.
Sure. It's an interesting sea change, though, from it wasn't that long ago that there was a lot of complaining and criticizing of, like, we spend all this money and we get, like, what do we get back for it? Like, I think it really exposed the lie that somehow security is supposed to, like, create profit rather than
and that's a bad mentality. Security is supposed to prevent you from losing money. It's not necessarily to generate the money.
Right.
Yes.
It's proactive and defensive.
Yes.
When it works right.
When it works right, and hopefully it always works right.
Is the change in security budget projections having an effect on company revenue? What's the correlation there?
So it's very, very interesting. We're seeing it. I work mostly with secure operations tools and solutions. So the projections in the last 3 years have really increased. We're seeing a 10.7 year-over-year growth, which if you look at the number, it's not a huge number, but it's very stable and that is sustainable. So that what it's telling me is they're willing to spend a little bit more in security. The revenue, it is there for the security providers. And we're seeing that even though we don't have huge jumps, this is gonna continue to grow and mature. And that's the key part, maturing.
Well, and part of that maturity sounds like they realize we need a rainy day fund for whether it's ransomware or some other big service.
It's like it would be a good way to think of organizations and their enterprises just as a household. For your household, you have to have your insurance. You have to have a backup plan. You have to have a little fund for anything that breaks, because it can break from your refrigerator to having a leak in the roof, and that is the reason why it is important to invest.
Right. How can vendors be helpful in steering clients through these budget limitation issues? What use can they be in this instance?
So that's great to ask. I have found out that if you take your customers into a journey together, you help them with training, making sure that they are comfortable utilizing the tools and the solutions with reassurance that if something goes wrong, they themselves can fix it. That alone gives them return on investment because they're more willing to renew for the next billing cycle, and that generates more revenue for the vendors. But yeah, pretty much you have to take them hand in hand, give them training, answer all their questions, be available to your customers. They are your best ally in the whole thing, like from figuring your weak spots to creating a better relationship.
And are vendors doing a good job of encouraging customers to lean into that support?
Yeah, I have found that there is a couple of vendors, especially in the threat intelligence and threat hunting and vulnerability management space, where they are training their customers at least once a year. So they will have like maybe 2 or 3 days of full-on trainings, so that the engineers can know the ins and outs of what's new. Especially now with AI, there's a lot of like new tools that are being added and capabilities, and not everyone knows how to use them or troubleshoot them. So that's the part.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, since you brought up AI, let's go there. I'm curious from your perspective what we can expect from AI, how it will impact budgets, will it change them at all? And I'm also curious if you can foresee whether it will increase revenue.
So here's the thing with AI. We are in a investment period. It doesn't matter the solution or deployment of AI or what sort of AI implementation has been done. It's mostly investment. Right now, it's investment, and I don't think we're gonna see revenue directly generated by AI in the security space, at least not in the next 6 months. It's going to continue to be investment and improving. And then after that period of investment is more settled and the AI solutions actually get to mature and people actually do adopt them, because right now adoption is more on like policy, then maybe we can start seeing a correlation of revenue and sales from the vendor side directly attached to AI. But at this point, it's more investment from the vendor side.
It strikes me that so much of the spending on AI, it's reminiscent of like the arms race from like 20 and 30 years ago.
Yes.
Like the crazy amounts of money that are being thrown at this. And I'm wondering if you see that from the clients that you deal with.
Yes, I do see that. So everyone wants to add AI in one way or another, and that's great because a lot of like the shareholders, they do want the next shiny thing, and AI, it is the next shiny thing. But it is most investment, and you cannot put a price tag on a agentic AI solution added or an AI added integration, because the investment in those models are huge, are massive. We're talking about millions and millions. So you cannot pass that cost to your end users. That wouldn't be fair until they are ready.
Excellent. Well, take us out with some thoughts on what SOC analysts can do to ensure success really during these next 2 years as AI adoption actually moves toward maturity.
Yeah, no, well, the SOC analysts that I have had the privilege to talk to in this Black Hat have been very keen to say that they are looking into the AI adoption as a cycle. So they are foreseeing like all your interns, all your tier one SOC analysts might get pushed out of the game for a while just because of AI and augmented orchestration, which is used a lot in security operations. We always want to automate things and make things easier. But we're foreseeing that once that has been completed, they're going to bring them back because threat actors are going to know the ins and outs of all of the AI models.
Sure.
So you're going to need someone to make sure the orchestration and the automation is working properly.
And are the SOC analysts that you're talking to, are they putting a lot of stock in the promises of around just this widespread automation that AI is supposed to deliver?
Yeah. They are. One of the areas that I like to talk to about is SOAR, because that's there in hand with orchestration. And if we're being honest, people are finally comfortable using SOAR enough and they're being successful and the results are great that they don't want to get rid of it just to get like an AI enhancement with orchestration.
Makes sense. All right. Well, Elvia, some great insights into budget changes and the impact that AI is going to have. Thank you so much for stopping by the Dark Reading News Desk.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
We've been talking with Elvia Finalle of Omdia Cybersecurity. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.